Science for life. Do you want to know more about the world around you? Then subscribe, like, and let's get started.
If you think your parents were tough on you, this list of neglectful animals will finally teach you what it means to be a bad parent. The gestation period for female horses, mares, is about a year. This may seem like a long time, but elephants carry their calves for up to 22 months. Unlike other animals that take care of themselves in anticipation of offspring, for mares this is a time of fun. When a female horse is pregnant, she goes for a walk around the herd and mates with every stallion. This seems pointless, because she is already pregnant. But there is an explanation for this. Male horses are aggressive towards their rivals. But if the stallion thinks that the newborn foal belongs to him, then there is less chance that he will harm the cub. Thus, the mare tries to protect the foals by depriving the stallions of the opportunity to identify the real father. Which is a good maternal quality, so the mare is at the bottom of this list. Female cuckoos are famous for abandoning their chicks even before they hatch. They simply lay their eggs in the nests of other birds and leave. Native eggs from foster parents are difficult to distinguish, so foster birds hatch them all the same. Meanwhile, cuckoo birds enjoy their independent life. Unfortunately, this is not a win-win situation. The cuckoo chick brings chaos and losses to foster parents. It grows faster and hatches earlier, causing smaller chicks to fall out of the nest. Sparrows are very cute. The female house sparrow is a good caring mother, but also an angry stepmother who can even scare Cinderella. Sparrows are usually monogamous, but sometimes they can have relationships outside of their native nest. When this happens, the female sparrow can literally calculate other women who have evaporated her partner and destroy their nests just so that the male sparrow has enough time for his own offspring. Apparently, they have never heard of nannies. Greenland seals devote their first 2 weeks to their cubs. So they cannot be called the worst mothers in the animal world. During this period, they keep their offspring close, care for and feed them. But after that, the seals' mothers leave the young generation alone on the ice. Seal pups are still very vulnerable because they do not know how to swim, hunt or defend themselves. It takes them at least 2 months to master all of these skills. So they spend this time waiting, losing weight and trying not to be eaten by predators. It is not surprising that only a third of all small seals survive to the first year of life. Hamsters are harmless and cute, but they still have one dark secret that can shock their owners. In some cases, female hamsters can confuse their own offspring with lunch. No one knows exactly why, but scientists have developed several theories. Some suggest that they are trying to replenish their nutrient stores after childbirth. Others argue that hamster mothers may experience stress and threat due to too many offspring. So in some ways it is a self-defense mechanism. To avoid such a sad ending, experts recommend giving females all the necessary nutrients. All or nothing. Probably this is the motto of black bears. Usually they have 2 or 3 cubs. But if a bear has only 1 cub, she is more likely to leave it in the hope of a larger brood next year. Why? Probably because raising only 1 child is not worth the effort. While a black bear cub has a better chance of survival with a brother or sister, pandas have very different traditions. These cute fluffy guys are very neglectful parents. Panda mothers usually give birth to twins, but they only take care of one of them. They will feed and care for the strongest cub, and the weakest will be neglected and forced to survive on their own. The explanation for their cruelty is quite practical. Pandas eat bamboo, but it is not nutritious enough to provide milk for both cubs. Even pandas that live in zoos follow the same tradition. Fortunately, zookeepers provide milk for all children. Polar bears are not really white. They have black skin under their fur. The white color is needed for them to camouflage during hunting. Black absorbs sunlight better than any other color. While white fur does not trap sunlight, the rays pass straight through it. In a sense, the polar bear's fur is transparent. Many people think that cats and dogs see the world in black and white. But they simply do not distinguish some colors. No one knows exactly how dogs see. It is possible that they only distinguish blue and yellow. but they can see shades of other colors better than humans. And cats see well at night. They need 7 times less light than a human to see in the dark. It was believed that giraffes are mute. But recently scientists have discovered that at night they communicate with each other using low-frequency sounds. During the day, they warn each other of danger in a very unusual way. They move their well-developed eyebrows. Apparently, at night the eyebrows are not visible, so they start to make sounds. By the way, giraffes sleep much more than 30 minutes a day. But probably not as much as we do. Their sleep pattern is quite typical. Watching a herd of giraffes, investigators found that they slept at night and dozed a little during the day. In total, each giraffe slept about 5 hours a day. By the way, in English, seagulls can drink salt water. They have glands near their eyes that excrete salt. These glands very quickly cleanse the water, and the salty sediment comes out through the nostrils. Yes, they get salty snot. Adelie penguins are real romantics. They have only one partner for life. To start a family, the male must give the female a smooth stone, something like an engagement ring. However, the female penguin, as a real woman, may not accept the gift. Foxes are also very romantic. Male foxes are good fathers and husbands. They are devoted to their loved ones, take care of the females, even look for fleas in their fur. Male foxes improve their dens and take an active part in raising their young. Dolphins sleep with one eye open. Half of their brain sees dreams. They swim on their backs and sleep in the same position. The cubs sleep on their mother's belly, and 2 adults hold each other by the paws so that the current of water does not separate them. In danger, ostriches do not hide their heads in the sand. They do not hide their heads anywhere. This myth arose from the idiom, bury their heads in the sand. In real life, ostriches have to dig holes in the sand for their eggs, and to make sure that they are evenly heated, they stick their heads in there from time to time and turn the eggs. But ostriches can have very unusual reflexes. When they encounter a threat, they can fall to the sand and lie motionless, as if they are dead. There is a misconception that sharks can only breathe if they are constantly moving, and that swimming helps them to push water through their gills. Yes, many species of sharks are so designed. But there are others, for example, the nanny shark, which does not need movement to pump oxygen-rich water through its gills. However, sharks really do not have a swim bladder. So if they stop swimming, they will probably sink to the bottom. But fortunately, sharks are not afraid of this. Rapid descents or ascents are common for them. Scientists from Japan played different audio recordings for cats to see their reaction. In these recordings, the owners called the cats by name. The cats' pupils dilated, the animals wagged their tails, paws and ears. Cats heard people, but they reacted rarely. It's all about evolution. Cats came to people because they were attracted to mice, which ate grain. They lived close to people, but they were never domesticated, and yet we continue to feed them. Birds are the only surviving dinosaurs. They evolved from theropods, which ran on 2 legs. Yes, Tyrannosaurus rex is a distant relative of chickens, ostriches and even hummingbirds. In fact, flamingos, which are white birds, turn pink due to beta-carotene, a pigment found in algae and shrimp that they eat. You can also change the color of your skin if you eat a lot of carrots. Your skin will turn orange. Sailors from all over the world have told stories of giant squids that they have encountered during their travels. But in 2004, the first photograph of a giant squid was taken. They really exist. A squid with tentacles 13 meters long was registered. Some of us are bitten by mosquitoes more often than others. The most delicious people have type 1 blood. And these insects also have good eyesight. They are attracted to green, black and red. So when going on a hike, think about the color of your clothes in certain seasons. The water near the poles can be very cold. There are many fish that live there. However, when the weather gets cold, they have to swim away to survive. But there is a special group of fish that come from the Southern Ocean near Antarctica. The temperature there ranges from -2 to 4 degrees Celsius. Technically, this is below the freezing point, but the salt in the seawater prevents the water from freezing. These fish survive thanks to a special protein called antifreeze glycoprotein. It allows the fish to stay in their home. This protein prevents ice crystals from forming in the fish's blood and helps to keep it flowing normally. Have you ever wondered how tiny animals like ants breathe? Try opening your mouth and throat without moving your chest or diaphragm. The diaphragm is a muscular structure in mammals that separates the chest from the abdomen. It expands when you breathe. If you do this, you will not be able to hold your breath, as oxygen will still enter your lungs, at least in the amount that your body requires. But in general, when you breathe, the diaphragm actively pumps air into your lungs. To survive without such movement of the diaphragm, you would need one gulp and a much smaller body. Ants have 9 to 10 pairs of holes on both sides of their body. These are spiracles, and each one is connected to a series of branching tubes. This system is similar to human lungs. Oxygen from the tubes is carried throughout the ant's body by the tubes themselves, not by the blood. The ends of these branches touch the cell membranes. This system only works in very small animals. If the body is larger than 2 centimeters, the tubes will not be able to distribute oxygen quickly enough. There are several reasons why giraffes' necks can reach 2 meters in length. At first glance, long necks provide them with evolutionary advantages to reach the sweetest leaves at the top of trees, which other animals can only dream of. Giraffes do not have to fight for a tasty morsel. But over time, researchers have found that this is not the only reason. It seems that giraffes' necks play an important role in fighting. Males use them in the same way that male antelope or deer use their horns. The thicker the neck, the more likely the giraffe is to win. Some insects pretend to be dead when a predator is nearby. For example, in one study, scientists observed a mongoose fly larva. It pretended to be dead for 61 minutes. How does it help? Suppose you are in a garden with several identical bushes with berries. You go to the first bush and start picking and eating berries. Delicious! It's easy, and you're pretty quick about it. But as the bush runs out of berries, it becomes more and more difficult to find them. Plus, it takes longer to find them than at the beginning. You need to decide, should you stay and look for more, or switch to another bush so that the process is again easy and fast? If you are a predator, and predators are quite greedy, you will look for ways to eat as many berries as possible in the shortest possible time. This means that you will move and start picking berries from another bush, and then from the next and so on. As for birds and mongoose fly larvae, scientists follow the same logic. It turns out that by pretending to be dead, insects waste the predator's time. This significantly affects the further course of events. Thus, they force the predator to look for food elsewhere, since it does not have so much time. So pretending to be dead is not a bad way to survive. Depending on the type of bird, their chicks spend from 10 to 30 days in eggs. There is no air inside the eggs, but Mother Nature has created an ideal mechanism that allows them to breathe. When a chick develops in an egg, its intestine forms a hollow sac-like structure. It looks like a pouch that connects to the second membrane that surrounds the chick in the yolk. One end of it is attached to the chick, and the other is closer to the inner surface of the shell. This membrane acts as lung tissue and connects the outside world to the chick's circulatory system. Most animals have 2 eyes. But some species need more. For example, some reptiles, amphibians and fish have a 3rd eye on the crown of their head. It doesn't really improve their vision, but it helps them to orient themselves by the sun and regulate their body temperature. Many invertebrates also have more than 2 eyes. Most spiders have 8 eyes in total. This allows them to more easily detect prey. Thanks for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss our next videos.